What do you think about Rick Caruso, who is looking to
Developer.
build? Yeah, he's a real estate developer. He's built tons of apartments and houses.
Grove.
Yeah, and he is looking to run for mayor of Los Angeles, and he wants to build tons of houses and tiny houses and all sorts of things for the homeless. Do you think that'll solve it or help
Are there
solve
any
the problem?
strings attached?
I don't know, but he says what he will do as soon as he's elected is declare a state of emergency and
As soon as he's elected. I love his confidence already.
Yeah, he will declare a state of emergency and set up through the, I don't know if it's through the National Guard or what they will, but it's get basically everybody off the streets and put them in housing, whatever kind, tents or whatever, with air conditioners and everything, and food and everything.
I think that's a great idea. I would be all for that. In fact, I'll try and reach out to Mr. Caruso. He and I went to the same law school, actually. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a little connection there.
All right.
Look, I'm an ideas guy. Tried and true. I love it. And I mean, man, like I said, I've been in LA for 13 years. I know that the homeless problem has gotten exponentially worse over the last few years, but like, it's almost like a downward spiral, and that's why it's getting so much worse. Not to mention, inflations, and it's just like, I don't know if we're on the verge of another recession, maybe not, I don't know, but like, I do know that we've got to start at the beginning and figure out, okay, you were saying a moment ago, what if they don't want to work? What if they don't want to do this? What if they don't want to do? Well, what do they want to do? Just drink and smoke? Is that
They want to live every day like it's a holiday.
laissez-faire?
Yeah, they want to enjoy their life. They've had a hard life as it is. I mean, and by the way, just so you know, homelessness does kill people. The average life expectancy of a person who's homeless, it's probably like 10 or 20 years. It's very short in comparison to a person who lives in a house.
So then,
I mean, just from crime,
statistics.
just from being mugged or killed or whatever, the crime rate is extremely. The odds of being attacked while you're sleeping goes up dramatically, living in a tent or just sleeping on the street. So it's very, very dodgy. I mean, a person who doesn't really care because they're on drugs is probably not in a good state of mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully, Rick Caruso or some government organization or, can help these homeless people, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's gonna get way worse. It's not, it's not addressed, and yeah, I'm excited to see what Mr. Ricky does.
All right, so yeah, check him out and maybe vote for him. So yeah, you're saying the cause of the homeless in LA and Venice and everything, it's just the cost of living.
Yeah, I'd venture to say that the problem probably started maybe 5-10 years ago. Maybe starting with the recession of '08, and people haven't been able to get their feet back on the ground. And, one problem leads to another, and things become way worse.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're camping out on that.
So yeah, from what I know about the homeless is that not all, but a large percentage of the homeless are drug addicts or alcoholics.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just, I mean, obviously the cost of living doesn't help, and that's just like one of the reasons. The other reason is most of these people didn't grow up in very good environments. Like their dad was maybe in prison and their mom was like high on drugs or something. So they didn't have very good upbringing. They didn't have a good home. They didn't have a good a stable environment at home with a good, mom and dad, just having dinner together every night.
Yep.
So they didn't have a very good, stable childhood. They have a lot of trauma in their childhood, and the way they cope with it is with the drugs, and then the drugs lead them to not be able to function in society well, and that causes them not to be able to get a job or keep a job, and then they just do drugs to survive, and they love the drugs more than living normal. So that's why they land up by default living on the streets. It's not their first choice. Obviously, nobody I think would want to live on the street, but it's what happens if they cannot get a job and keep a job. And then now, once the people are homeless, now it's even harder to get a job, because on the job application, what do they put as the address? the Union Rescue Mission. What do they put as a phone number? If they don't
mail?
have a phone, yeah, how do they get mail? And plus, when they go and apply for a job, if they don't smell that good or they aren't that clean cut, then what kind of job can they get, right? I mean, even if they, although, I mean, I do say that there's plenty of people coming from, Mexico, right? And they're willing to do anything. They a lot of times they want $15 an hour, but they'll, push comes to shove, they'll work for $5 or $10 an hour before they starve. So if there's a will, there's a way. There's no reason for them to be homeless.
I agree.
This is the land of opportunity. I mean, that's just my opinion. They don't have to be homeless.
I think ultimately at the end of the day, it comes down to like a decision. I think that's a cool home.
Yeah. Wow, these are the canals here. I'm just going to show you. Guy sitting right there. He's taking his life into his own hands. I hope he doesn't jump. That fall could be kind of bad because it's not very deep. Yeah, it's very shallow water over there. So it's a little dodgy, but hey, it's a free country and we gotta love his, respect his choice, It's his risk to take, all right? And that's what makes America.
For sale.
Oh yeah. Good. So Brandon, what do you think the solution is to all the homeless here in Venice? Just give them houses or what?
I think there's got to be a very comprehensive approach, starting with housing, of course, right? If you don't have housing,
Give them housing?
Yes, but I think there should be strings attached to the housing gift.
Such as?
Such as, hey, we'll give you housing in return for you got to work. And if you,
What if they don't want to work?
well, I mean, hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? You
But
can't
what if they
have
just
both.
prefer to? Whoa, this is crazy. Look at this.
Wow,
This is nice. How you like this?
this is great.
You like it, huh?
Kind of a Tuscany theme too, right?
Yeah, Tuscan style house. Wow, this is pretty cool. Wow, you got a modern one over there as well. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, getting back to what we were talking about. So,
I think it's-
you want to give them houses with a few strings attached. But what if they say no? They don't care about strings. They just wanna. They're okay living in a tent on the sidewalk, and that's why we're the one they choose.
that was a decision, right?
That's their decision. What if they want to be homeless on the street? Not that I would. I mean, most people say no one want to be. But what if they say no? They're okay. They don't mind living on the street as long as they can have their freedom.
In the U.S. that outlaw being homeless, like literally living on the streets. I mean, I'm sure there has to be some communities where that's illegal.
Yeah, I would say like Beverly Hills. They don't like when people camping there, so they kick them out.
Okay, well, Beverly Hills is.
But there's other places that are more liberal, like Venice and Santa Monica, and San Francisco that love the homeless. Or they help them. They feel sorry for them and they want to
I feel sorry for them, of course.
give them a place to stay. But I mean, what if it's their choice? What if they've taken so many drugs that it's very hard for them to function in society? What if they were in a car accident, okay, and their brain got smashed by another car and they really cannot even think, they're depressed, and now they almost, I don't want to say vegetable, but they can't do very much as far as work-wise, and they don't want to go live in a mental institution, and that's why they are, they seem crazy talking to themselves on the streets. What about them? What do you think about that?
I think that you should look. I think it should be a couple of options. Door number one is, hey, we'll give you housing. You gotta work. They say no, we don't want to work. And okay, well, door number two.
What kind of job would you give a person who has mental issues, who almost cannot work?
Well, work.
And no, you know what I mean, like even like a basic thing like digging ditches. They cannot do that. What do you think?
Well, what about being a door usher or
Door usher.
like at Costco, like checking IDs? I mean, that's not rocket science,
Okay.
checking IDs or
Mm-hmm.
membership cards.
Doing membership cards?
At Costco, they like, hey, let's show us your membership card.
Oh, okay.
You
Like
feel the same?
that's a pretty easy job for them.
It's a very easy job. Like,
Okay.
there's countless easy jobs, man. And so that's where it's like, if I guess I'm not so easy to take no for an answer.
Okay. Wow. Look at the staircase here.
Ooh,
This looks
beautiful.
nice. You got a spiral
Fireplace
staircase.
right up there.
Yep.
Nice.
Nice.
Very.
Yeah. So you're saying they must work if they want to eat, right? If they don't want to work, they mustn't eat, basically. And they shouldn't just camp on the streets. You don't like that?
I don't like that. It's probably not very healthy for them. I don't know if it's very sanitary for the rest of society.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, here's the way I see it. I hear what you're saying. I think one of the things that makes America such a great place is that thank you. Is that the people have freedom. They have freedom to work as hard as they want, or
not at all.
Or not at all. That's their choice. And if they don't, then they unfortunately land up being homeless. But I think they should have designated areas for the homeless. I mean, I know they designated Skid Row for them, and they even have big signs called Skid Row for the homeless. But now, because it's becoming a big problem, it's spread out to places like Venice and Santa Monica. And there used to be only one or two, a long time ago. And that was the alcoholic, it was like a rare thing. But now, because the cost of living is so high, wow, this is nice. Because the cost of living is so high, the homeless problem has become a big problem. Okay.
Cute little house.
Oh yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice. So it's become a big problem, but I think they should just have designated areas where people can be homeless.
Like
And
that.
There's plenty of places, even near a beach, where, like all up and down the California coastline, where they could allow them to be homeless on the beach, if that's what they choose. Now, obviously, they need things like, resources, water, food, things like that. They're already giving them, government handouts and stuff. So they should just have designated areas, I think, for them. That's in my opinion, because there's tons of land all up and down the coast. They could just designate certain areas for them. Allow them to live in those areas, on the beach or near the beach, because that's what they like. And it's, it's a tropical climate. It's not too cold,
Yeah.
And I think that would be a humanitarian, because as soon as you put strings attached to it and say they have to work, and they have to do this, that's the whole problem. It doesn't work because those people don't want to work, or they've tried to work. They've tried to work. They've tried it. It didn't work. They tried to get a job. It didn't work. They got a job. They got fired because they don't.
Then I would say
they don't work well with people. You know what I mean? They maybe get angry too quickly. They say, "Can I see your Costco card?" Someone says no. They just walk in and then they cuss them out or something.
Then no, not at the Costco. Like a librarian or someone at the library on Costco.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hello. Hi. Okay, I think we should probably walk on this one actually. Maybe that's a bit better. What do you think?
I'm completely lost.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the canals. There you have some canals. And over here. So I think, the way I see it is obviously the homeless problem. It starts from when they're kids and the way that they were raised.
Not necessarily, because I was at the airport once speaking to this nice girl. We were getting food, and we were getting to talking, and I was telling her about my brain injury 5 years ago and how it almost killed me and totally reset my life. And she was saying, my twin brother got in a bad motorcycle accident a couple of years ago, and the accident really effed him up. Well, guys, look, I was really effed up too, but there's something to be said about, like, okay, you gotta, be determined and like, wanting to get back on the horse. And what I hear you saying is like, hey, what if they don't want to get back on the horse?
What if they try to get on the horse but it just didn't work for them?
Well, I would say, hey, let's evaluate. Look, I'm of the mindset where I like to help people. I hate taking no for an answer. So if, as you said, hey, what if that job sucks? Or what if they're not good at the Costco and they get mad at it? Well, you can't tell me that there isn't a job on this planet that they wouldn't love. And I use that word deliberately because that's a big part of it, man. Like, if you don't love what you're doing, then
why are you doing it?
But
so you're saying even if someone is high on drugs, homeless, living in a tent, or just that,
we gotta get rid of the drugs. We gotta get rid of the booze and the drugs. And I mean,
so you have to make them see the light and show them that the drugs is destroying their life,
destroying their lives, just preventing them from moving on, and just like kind of they're stuck in the status quo, and that's.
So you have to help them see the light.
Yep, exactly. It's
Would you say that's an easy thing or a difficult thing to get them to see the opportunity?
I like to consider it fairly easy if you're doing it the right way. But in other news, if you are hoping to move to LA and Venice, any neighborhood of LA, give Tim and I a call. Shoot us an email. We can help you connect those dots and cross that bridge.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Hope to talk to you soon. Take care.
Cheers.